everybody, welcome back to Angry Badger Minis. Again, if you're new to the channel, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to support what we do here, there's a Patreon link in the description below, as well as all of our other ways to keep up on how we are coming to you live. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, all that kind of stuff. So we're working on the heavy bolter teams or heavy weapons teams. I put one together mostly. It's not complete. Just so you guys could see what we're dealing with and what I had to do to try to make this work, since we found out, last night late into the stream that they did not give us the correct model. Meaning, this is what they gave us. Hold on, I'll show you here in a minute. If I can pull it up. Where are you? Right there. So, as you can see, what I have is a guy kneeling. What Forge World has on their site is a guy in the prone. So it did not work out like, I was hoping. However, I was able to make it work. So it is what it is. But let me go ahead and move this down so everybody can see what we're working on here. And I've not been idle, just waiting for the stream. Like always, I'm constantly putting things together, just to make sure that we're using our time wisely and making progress. So this is what we're working on, and hopefully we're going to be able to get this done. Now, just to give you guys some idea, right now this stuff is gluing or curing. Just to give you guys some idea of what's going on, there's a certain way you really need to put these together, and since we have no instructions, it was kind of trial and error, trying to figure this out for this crew. So I'm going to try my best to explain this to you, even though I got a little ahead of myself, because I have other parts here for the auto cannons. And basically they're the exact same setup except for the weapon system itself, and the drums that are going to go on it. So that being said, you're going to have two parts here, and I was wrong. I thought that this traversing arm right here, or gimbal, went to the mortars. It did not. It's only for the machine guns or automatic weapons, if you will. And I believe there's also the same for the las cannon. So anyway, you have these two pieces right here, okay? They're two separate pieces. What I did was I glued them together, okay, first with an angle, so that my pie here, or my compass, if you will, gave me the most movement for my gun, okay? And if you'll notice on these guns here, they're not all straight, okay? If you look at the wheels, you'll see the wheels are going one way, the gun is going the other. The wheels are all actually going the exact same way. It's the gun that's turned. And that was to give my army some dynamic pose, while they're out there. And believe it or not, the first one that I did, it's exactly how this one is as well. You can see the wheels, but you see the gun is turned off to what would be the left for the gunner and right for you. Because again, you're trying to, have some fun with it. And I mean, you can always just turn the thing, you know what I mean? If you really need, really concerned about that. Anyway, so I put all those together, just set them down inside one another. And then glued it. But one thing that had to happen is, at least for me, I'm not saying this will happen for you, none of these holes were big enough. So I had to be very careful in going in here and actually drilling holes through the two holes to make everything work. Then what I did after that was done, I went ahead and I put the wheels on, okay? The only issue you have with the wheels is that for some reason, they don't always exactly fit in there, so you may have to cut something, drill out the hole a little bit more, which hopefully you won't have to. But if you can really force it, get your fingers on there nice and flat to support all of the resin, and then maybe you can get it on there, okay? Rotate it on there like that, and that worked. The problem is now, when you guys take a look at this, you see how the wheel, sorry, didn't realize I wasn't in the camera. You see how the wheel is crooked now? So you're going to have to bend it very carefully to get it to be how you want. And it's going to want to try to snap back, so you're going to have to go back a little further than what would normally be the case. Okay. Then once you've got both wheels on, this is where it gets a little stupid. Not all of these were made the same. This little, let's see if I can show you. All right, let me put it in my palm here for you. Okay, let me turn it around. You see this little tidbit hanging out right here? There's another one on the other side right here. They're not always the exact size they should be to fit inside of the holes for these. Okay, so that hole right there. The problem you have is trying to drill that, you don't have much margin for error before it breaks. So I did that on the first one, it broke, and I was able to put it back. But since then, I'm like, screw this. I just cut those little bits off right there so that it's nice and flat, and then I just went ahead and glued, you know, this piece onto there, and it works out just fine. You can't see it, doesn't matter, you know, whatever. So that's basically how I was working that. Then once you've got that, you go ahead and plop the gun on, figure out the angle you'd like to have, and glue it down in place, and then you can move on to the rest of it. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, when it comes to putting these guys on there, holy crap, man, is it a pain. It really is. I mean, just trying to get the arms to line up correctly. You will have to, matter of fact, I probably should have showed you this before I cut it. Right here, you will have to cut the handle off, okay? The handle that comes down at the hand will go on, because the hand that comes with it already has a handle inside of it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See what I mean? And so you got to cut that handle off that would have been right there, and then slide his hand up underneath it. It's not overly difficult, it's just frustrating, especially if you happen to get some glue on your fingers or something like that, and it starts pulling the model away and whatever. I also have the problem of bent barrels right here, as you can see. So once I'm done with a lot of this stuff, I'm probably going to have to dip it all in some hot water, go back and rebend some things, you know, but that's the joy of resin. So that's where we're at with that. I'm just giving these guys a little bit of time to cure. So I'm going to start cutting these guys off, since they're basically the next thing going. And I'm going to talk to you about some things I heard about today that I am really not happy about. You know how I said that I didn't know if I would ever participate in a tournament for Games Workshop ever again? Well, that just probably became a solidified deal today. Games Workshop has the nerve to come out and say that they're not going to allow certain things in their tournaments. And what I mean by that is, and I'm going to clarify, you know, what I feel is acceptable and what I don't. The first thing is, you know, third-party things, okay? I get that. They're trying to sell their models. I do get that, okay? But I think that they were on the right track when they said 90% of the model should be a Citadel model or a Games Workshop model. You know, that way, if there's something that Games Workshop doesn't make, some bit or something like that, which they don't, then you can, you know, go ahead and put that on there. The biggest problem is a lot of people have already done this with their models, you know, third-party, whatever, 3D prints, you know, stuff like that. And so they've invested a lot of time, and money, you know, into their armies. And where this really becomes an issue for me is, you're going to tell somebody who spends all the time and money to go to this tournament, you think that this PSA is going to be out there and reach everybody, and then you think you're going to tell these folks, hey, you can't do this, you know, that's not, you know, you can't play, or you got to remove that model from the table. How's that conversation going to go, do you think? You know, I mean, how honestly, how upset are people going to be when they spend all that money to go there and find that out because it's based on someone's opinion? Now, they are, you know, they are saying, well, you know, if you 3D printed it, designed it and 3D printed it yourself, then it's fine, as long as they can't find that model, or I'm sorry, that particular bit or whatever, you know, online somewhere. Well, let's be honest. Are they really going to staff these events that's going to stand around doing that? I mean, this is more work and more problems than it's worth. In my opinion, it's creating a real loathing and hate and discontent for Games Workshop, you know, that I think will never have been seen before. And I haven't even started yet. It's going to get even worse when I tell you, especially for someone like myself that's putting all these armies together. Yeah, I'm a little salty right now because of what was said. So there's that part. So let's just say that they can't prove, you know, that you commercially bought the 3D printed part, whether it be a head, a gun, an arm, whatever, okay? And, you know, and now it doesn't apply to green stuff, you know, stuff that you might have made yourself and sculpted. That's my understanding. So at least there's that, but it's still not, it's not a win, you know what I mean? And some people will argue, oh, well, they're a company, they got to make money, and, you know, it's their game, it's, you know, you're just playing in it. I would beg to differ. Without us, they wouldn't have a game. You know, without us buying the stuff, they wouldn't have anything. And honestly, let's really be honest with ourselves. How much game does Games Workshop really make? No, they're a miniature company, okay, making miniatures. So, moving on from that, the next thing that really, and this is the one that really chafes me, is they want to say that it's your paint job. It's going to be about your paint job. So, you know, in the example that's being used widely is, let's just say that you had a nicely painted Salamander's army, you know, like I will have, again, and you decided for whatever reason, this tournament, whatever, you decided you wanted to use Ultramarine or whatever, you know, stratagems, etc., you know, or maybe you just want to be Iron Fist, my gosh. Gosh, what can't I think of them? Imperial Fist or whatever. The point is, because your army is painted green, it's supposed to be under the assumption that your opponent looking at a green painted army is assuming all the time that you're using Salamander stratagems and tactics, okay? Instead of what you told them, what you have on your roster, and what you've chosen to play with. So now you're being penalized for painting your army fully in a certain way. So what is the alternative to doing this? The only thing I can think of, honestly, is, sorry, let me pull this up. The only thing that I can think of, honestly, is that, you know, you're gonna have to paint your, you know, you're gonna have to have a tournament army, and you're gonna have to have your fluff army you play with your friends, or you're just gonna have to not go to Games Workshop type tournaments. Because and I'm only saying them because I'm hoping to God you tournament organizers out there, or TOs, do not jump on board with this nonsense in your homegrown Rogue Trader tournaments. Because if you do, man, I mean, you're gonna see serious backlash. I'm telling you right now. Don't believe me if you don't want to. I'm telling you, you're gonna see some serious backlash. Mainly in the fact that people are just not going to show up, you know, because the only other alternative you have is to paint a mediocre army, which, you know, some of you may say, oh, that happens all the time anyway. Yeah, you're probably right. But for those that didn't, and they put the time and effort in, and the money and the patience and, you know, whatever else it is that they did, now you're going to penalize these dudes because they want to use a different stratagem. Well, you're going to have to paint it in some crazy thing, not put any kind of decal on it, and call it a successor chapter of whatever. And that's the only way you're going to be able to get by. And who does that hurt? Does that hurt your opponent? No. It hurts you, the player, because it's not an army you're proud of. You know what I mean? I mean, this is like the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. This is overreach like I've never seen before in a hobby. Now you're going to penalize people over their painting? You already gave people bonus points because their army was painted. That in and of itself, I think, is unfair. I mean, especially if a person's like, oh, I just bought this army, I really want to play, and they show up and they can't even win because the other person's already got 10 points, you know, because their army's not painted. They just bought the army, you know, however long ago, was able to quickly get it put together just so they could be there. I mean, that's, you know, and some of you argue, oh, that's the way it is. Well, I mean, again, I guarantee you if you were in their shoes, you would think differently. So, man, I mean, really, now you're going to hit the paint jobs? You know, I mean, what's next? You know, no longer does the tabletop standard mean 3 colors. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. You know, especially in a time when, you know, if you think about it, how many people honestly, you know, have been out there, you know, really been able to, due to COVID and everything else, been able to really, you know, play games. You know, they've been trapped inside their homes, you know, whatever, gaming stores and stuff been shut down. I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And now you want to implement all these rules restrictions. This is going to drive people to 3D printing. This is going to drive people to different games, and it's going to hurt the hobby. And I know a lot of you are like, oh, people say that all the time, blah, blah, blah. You don't know what you're talking about. Look, I've been around since '98, okay? So I do know what I'm talking about. And I've watched the rise and fall, and I mean it in that order. Because GW in the time that I came in was pretty damn awesome. And I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, it's literally gone down the tubes. That's why I'm, you know, I mean, hell, now you're gonna have people. I mean, you wanted to fight the war against recasters. Well, guess what you just did? You just gave the recasters more ammunition, because these guys are gonna be like, screw tournaments. I'm gonna get what I want out of it, and that's all I'm gonna care about. So, I mean, it's kind of like the if you guys remember Battlefield, when they did the whole woke thing, you know, and you know, I forget the guy's name, but he came out and he said, well, if you don't like the game, don't buy it, and they didn't, you know. Excellent, you know, fail on his part, you know. And I'm not advocating one way or the other on that. I'm just saying you don't challenge your freaking customer base like that. You just don't do it. It's bad business. It's bad enough with all the changes that get made, the lack of you know, codec support. I mean, it's just ridiculous, you know. And I mean, this whole paint thing, I mean, it's ridiculous. But again, as we all know, in a lot of ways, Games Workshop doesn't care about, you know, the veteran hobbyist that's been there for years, supporting them and buying stuff. What they care about is the new person coming in, you know, and that's it. So it's all unfortunate, to be honest with you. If you'll notice, I'm not actually throwing all these pieces away, because I'm going to be using them in the actual terrain itself, like I did with the bigger pieces. So, but yeah, that's my rant, if you will, on what I heard today. Like I said, the biggest thing that chased me, man, is that freaking paint thing, you know, painting deal. I mean, my gosh, man, what happened to, you know, encouraging the hobbyists to expand their horizons and do the things they wanted to do? You know, I mean, what's the point now? I mean, it's definitely not the GW of old. It's definitely going in the wrong direction. And now you got people, you know, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but crying and whining about the new Sister of Battle. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name, but she's the High Lord of Terra in the Sister of Battle mech suit thing. Well, we all knew that was going to happen. We knew she was going to be as tough as Rogel Dorn and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So, I mean, so she's supposed to be as strong as a Primarch. I don't understand how you sell that. I really don't. But it is what it is. So yeah, I'm just trying to give this stuff a little bit of time to cure, while I get this stuff prepped, and hopefully I'll be able to finish up these heavy bolters this evening. I mean, that's the plan anyway. And then we can move on to auto cannons, then las cannon, or mortars, then las cannons last, and then that will be all of the infantry. So, let's see, did I get all that? I think so. But I'm, you know, I guess I'm not too butthurt anymore about how this came out, you know. I mean, it gives him the ability to really, you know, like I said, you can see more of the Kriegsman. And, you know, and he's able to, you know, look like he's holding, you know, onto the belt and holding onto the ammo box. And then once I actually get the dirt and stuff on here and base it, I'll go ahead and put the expended shell casings, you know, over here. But that's gonna have to wait. So let's see, what else did I hear about? Man, that really does irritate me. way, I'm not saying they're targeting Space Marine players, but it's just dumb. You know, you're gonna limit someone's, you know, painting scheme or whatever. What if the person doesn't really know how to paint, but they just slap a decal on there? What's up, Plague? You know, what if they do that? I mean, now all of a sudden you're gonna tell, oh well, you know, you can't play as, you know, Ultramarines in this tournament because you have a salamander decal on your freaking model. Get out of here, dude. This is like the stupidest thing ever. Stupidest thing ever. But you know, Games Workshop will continue to march on. People will continue to support that kind of nonsense, and you know, we're all entitled to our own opinion. So it is what it is. Man, I guess I really can't get over that paint thing. That is ridiculous. My gosh, man. And I'm about to paint, you know, I mean, once I get everything put together, I'm going to be painting tons of armies. And now I've got to worry about even more stress, if you will, of how I'd like to do it versus how I'm going to play them. Is this a marketing strategy to make you buy more stuff so that you can play a certain army by painting another army? Could be. It's really ridiculous. Really ridiculous. So I don't know if you saw Plague, if you saw the video from last night, but Forge World screwed me again. It is what it is, but basically, as you can see, you got the, you know, the Krieg guy, the ammo man on his belly. That's not what I got. These sons of bitches. God. This is not what I got. And there's nothing I can do about it. It's too long. It's been too long since I bought these. I was lucky to get those shoulder pads and stuff. And they still tried to tell me I could buy it. Great customer service. Great customer service. You can't understand the sarcasm. Oh, yeah, so wait, alright, so the first thing is, I guess we'll say the Forge World thing, because I mean, why not? If you look in the corner, you'll see the ammo man that they sell with this. Yeah, it's in the prone. All of mine are not in the prone. Not a single one of them. They're all the exact same guy for the heavy bolter, the autocannon, and the las cannon. The only difference is going to be the weapon system. So that sucks. I talked about that, I think either yesterday or the day before. I got a feeling that the plastic Krieg are going to be, I think they're going to be a one-off type thing, like just single squads with the new orcs to sell it that way. I don't think we're going to get the love that I'm hoping. But I'm happy to take a bunch of regular dudes as well. It just, I don't know. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'll put it that way. But the thing that I'm complaining about the most is these new tournament rules that came out for Games Workshop. Have you heard about them? I mean, it's pretty bad. I know you guys don't necessarily want to go back and watch it while you're live with me, so that's fine. I'll be happy to repeat it. Essentially what you've got is hold on a second here. Something else I've learned about YouTube is, in order for me to be more in line with what you guys do, whenever it starts, for some reason it sets it back a ways. So, oh, you did hear about it. Yeah, it's, holy crap, man, absolutely ridiculous. So, and like I said, my biggest heartache's on the paint job thing. So you've got to worry about how you paint your models now to how you would play them in the tournament. So even though you don't like, you know, Space Smurfs, the Ultramarines, the blue, but you like their tactics, you can't play with that if you painted them a different color in a GW tournament. It's absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. But what are you gonna do? You know, besides not playing a GW tournament. You know, and like I said, I hope if anybody that's listening to this happens to be a Rogue Trader tournament organizer, don't do this, man. Don't buy into this crap, and you know, and start doing that to your people. You're gonna lose people. They're just not gonna show up. It's gonna bite you in the ass. You know, if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. If you want to make the argument, oh well, you know, so your opponent knows. Your opponent knows. It's not hard. It's not hard to figure out. I mean, you can remind them every time. It goes right back into what I say about how I build everything. If I'm gonna build something that's gonna, you know, proxy or be, you know, whatever type of weapons, I always put the most powerful weapon on there first, so I can turn around and tell my opponent it's not as bad as it seems. You know what I mean? I'd rather my guy have a plasma pistol in his hand, and the guy's looking at that, counting on that's a plasma pistol, all right, and that he's going to have to deal with something a little stronger, and then it's a weight off his shoulders when I say, no, man, it's just a las gun. You know, if you know, doesn't count, you know, as a plasma gun this time. I mean, you know, in my mind, that's the way to play. You know, especially if you don't have the ability to magnetize, don't want to do it, maybe don't have all the weapons. I mean, hell, this guy right here, you know, this quartermaster, he didn't come with a las gun. He just came with a freaking plasma pistol. Well, I mean, I have some las pistols. I'm sorry, he didn't come with a las pistol. I have some las pistols around, but that's beside the point. What if I didn't have them? You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to. Obviously, Games Workshop's not trying to, you know, make their hobby go away. I mean, but at the same time, geez, dude. I mean, what's the end goal here when you start worrying about what people, how the people painted the color of the color of their army? Come on, man. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, I did miss one here. But man, that really, that really irritates me. I mean, that's another barrier to getting new people in the hobby. You know what I mean? Hey, man, you know, you paint it that way. I mean, you're going to have to use those rules only. How's that going to sound? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, I got to sort these arms out. I got a little carried away and wasn't paying attention. My apologies. But I mean, you know, I'm sure somebody in corporate GW is like, I don't care. Screw those guys. Screw you hippies, I'm going home. Brings me back to that Games Workshop video that, gosh, what was her name? Flash Gets used to do. If you guys have ever seen that video. And now I want to watch it. Oh, man. You know what? Screw it. Let's watch it and give a middle finger for GW. Why not, right? That's the way I'm looking at it. Let me see here. Flash Gets GW. Not that I had any love for Ward. That guy was a moron too. Here it is, inside GW.
I know I'm new here, but I really feel like I can turn this company around. We can start by having the staff stop trying to practically hump the customer as soon as they walk through the door, and we can stop the codex creep. But I think most importantly, we should lower the prices.
That's great! Thanks for the input there, Steve! Everyone give Steve a hand! Right, gentlemen, here's an idea. We double the prices and half the amount of models. That way, each model is worth twice as much to the player, and everyone wins. Something else I wanted to talk about was a lack of diversity in our product line. I mean, sure, we have Space Marines, but why don't we have Space Marine Space Marines. Hear me out. A Space Marine inside of a Space Marine. Oh, that reminds me. Gary, how's it coming down in the Codex department?
Swimmingly, my lord. Notes. Give him 15 attacks on the charge and instant death.
So
Oh, and how is that cease and desist coming for those Flash Kids animation faggots?
just great. We're having it expedited.
I mean, Don's a pretty nice guy, but I hear Tom listens to Rush. And you know how I feel about Rush.
You know what? A 14-year-old boy has been spotted using unofficial models of one of our hobby stores.
Mother of God. Mobilize the legal team immediately!
This is GW Legal Team Wolverine. Question for pickup.
Pickup ready to give help.
Stand forward.
Yep, that's pretty much it in a nutshell, wouldn't you say? Yeah, you're right. Unless it's hits their bottom line, they absolutely won't care. And I haven't watched that in years, man. Can't believe I even remembered it. That's hilarious. All right, let's get to work here. So, man, I'll tell you, I really shouldn't let it get to me like that, but it's just like, man, come on, dude. You're ruining my hobby. You really are. And you know, and everybody always wants to jump on the train of, oh, it's probably just guys that don't even play and blah, blah, blah. No. Because if that were the case, unless they've got everybody literally in fear, you know, like this is all these guys have going for them, everybody in the company, you know, Jervis, Johnson, all of them, that this is all they've got going for them, and they're that, you know, controlled that they're, you know, they could be fired at any time. Somebody's got to be saying something, you know, that's in the hobby, you know, you name it. They got to be saying something, but whatever. One thing I wanted to point out too is that one great thing about this particular model here is that as long as you keep the right arm of the Kriegsman relatively level, you can just put it on there and you don't have to do anything. It'll line up relatively good, and then you can just slide it underneath the gun. Worst case is you may have to, you know, push down the gun or something like that, depending on how you've, you know, glued it in there, or raise it up like I'm gonna have to do right here. But either way, it's still pretty solid. And if you have to raise it up, that's even better, because now you've got that downward pressure, which will help, you know, solidify it for you or cure it. Of course, you can always, you know, rip it apart like I just did and ruin it. Oh gosh, never fails. Let's see here. That's my little grot over there, letting everyone know she is not happy for whatever reason. My other little grot, he's dealing with some kind of I'm not even sure what you would call it. We think it might be like baby eczema, but he might have got into something when we were, maybe the grass just irritated him. We were at the park playing, so we're worried about that a little bit and watching it. But he's not itching or anything. That's the crazy part. You know, joys of being a parent. The worry, the stress, I guess. Dang, man. Alright, I'm just going to have to put it on there and let it sit. So we'll just do that. That way I'm not screwing around with this for too long and wasting time. Nothing like skin cells. They glue faster than anything. I bet if you could weld something with skin cells and crazy glue, it would probably hold for at least 10 years. Alright. Let that guy sit over there and we'll roll on to the next dude. My thing is, once you get, once you get an idea or a pattern of how you, put things together, it goes along a lot faster. That's why I spent the time that I did today to put this heavy bolter team together as much as humanly possible. I hear you, man. Thank you. Yeah. We have our dog Henry. If you don't watch him and there's bumblebees around, or even gosh, what are they called? Wood boring bees. He tries to eat them. And while the wood boring bees don't have a stinger, it doesn't stop him from going after the other ones. And while he hasn't caught one yet, the day he does, man, he's going to be hurting. He's going to be hurting for certain. So we're always yelling at him to leave him alone. But he's his own man as far as a dog is concerned. He does whatever he wants to do, and super smart, man. I mean, he'll listen, but he's super intelligent. You can see him working it out, man. Whatever it is. Like he's like a little kid, he'll wait for you to walk away kind of thing, and then go do what you told him not to do. Let's see here. For some reason this arm seems to be slippery. I don't know why. So what's y'all's take on me doing any of the video gaming? Is it worth it for the channel, or should I just leave it alone? I mean, do you like watching it, or what? Ah, son of a gun. I'm surprised that Flash Gets friggin' video is still on YouTube. I wonder if the Space Hulk ones are still out there. Those were always fun to watch, especially the first one. And then they'd put Megadeth in there for soundtrack and stuff. That was always cool. I think that was in the second one. Come on, man. Get over there. Glue, damn you, glue. Oh, little one, she's probably hungry, tired, frustrated, bored, something. Hot. Who knows? There's no telling. Alright, so the only thing when it comes to these guys, alright, so I have that basically resting on his knee. So yeah, that's what I did. It's resting on the knee. So that way I can go ahead and get that going. Make sure I got the right arm here. Right on. I just, I mean, primarily I got on this for, this. And, I just thought, Dawn of War series and things like that would be, an interesting way to tie things in. I mean, it does for me a little bit, like you said, to keep it fresh, but I guess I missed this one too. What the heck, man? I'm slacking. Totally slacking. Come on. Alright, cool. Alright. did that. Son of a gun. I just love everything about the 40K universe. I just really do. And it's, you know, I've been playing that Lost Crusade app as well. It's pretty easy to do. I don't really understand those types of app games. I'm doing stuff and I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just clicking buttons or clicking things. But I've gone far enough that I have my Imperial Knight, which is cool. And I'm sure that as I get stronger and get further into the game, it's probably going to be pretty cool. The developers seem to be taking a lot of, you know, a lot of good feedback, or I mean, taking feedback and running with it, which is cool. That's not something I'm used to. So believe it or not, I've even filled out the surveys. Okay. Oh, he just took a dirt nap. Boom. Oh, looks like it stayed on, so I'll just leave it. Job interview today that went well, so hopefully I'll be able to afford a PC soon, and I'll probably be hyped on the games. Heck yeah, man. Like I said, we can play some of that Tabletop Simulator. It's free. You know, Steam's free, Tabletop Simulator's free. The assets are free. I mean, the only thing you're paying for is the internet, I guess. I'd love to do that. Did I really forget to... Gosh, man. What the heck is going on with me tonight? Or I just didn't get close enough on the cut, I guess. Now I got that Megadeth song on my head. But I don't want to play it on the channel, since YouTube's all over me for any type of copyright anything, even stuff that's not really copyrighted. It's amazing. Right on, Plague, right on. Yeah, that would be cool. I haven't played a game of 40K in so long. I mean, other than by myself, you know, on Tabletop Simulator, trying to figure out the rules, but I'll be honest, I keep falling back on 3rd edition stuff or whatever, and whatever what's the last? I think I played 7th edition, so I'm all confused. but I know how the tabletop simulator part works, and I can definitely show you how that rolls. Oh, come on, man! Come on, man! So where are you at, Plague? Like, where in the world? Since 5th? Yeah, maybe. Well, then we can be all kinds of screwed up together. It'll make for an interesting game when people are like, "You morons don't know what you're doing," and we'll be like, "You're right. Teach me, Sage. Teach me, Senpai." Show me your evil ways. Yeah, like I said, once you figure out what the method is, it goes relatively quickly. And for the next 2 weapon systems, las cannon and autocannon, it'll be, you know, I'm pretty sure they're all the same, you know, the same models and everything. So I think somebody was putting this order together, because I went back and looked at the old emails from way back then, man. Denver, right on. Yeah, I'm in Virginia. Went back and looked at some of the old emails when Forge was like, oh, well, we're back ordered for this, you know, do you want us to send part of the order now or all of it together? And I said all of it together, because I didn't want any problems. Boy, did that not stop the problems. So somebody was probably like, this motherfucker, you know, just throwing shit in a bag probably. And the reason I say they probably just threw shit in a bag is when it came to these heavy bolters, I was getting upset after I got off the stream because I was missing wheels. You know, these wheels right here. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And so I started going through all the parts, and I have everything separated by weapon system. And I found the wheels in, you know, the las cannons. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. There's no way that would have happened had they not just, you know, put it in there. So I don't know how Forge World works, but I'm assuming that they have like bits boxes, you know, with all the stuff, and then they just grab whatever and they throw it in there. And it's probably somebody drinking their Starbucks latte, talking, shooting the breeze and not paying attention, and next thing you know, my Krieg Death Corps ends up with 5 Eldar and 7 Orcs. I'm kidding, that didn't happen. Well, I wish I'd have known that before I bought, because I would have definitely checked it out better. I'd have thought with the amount of, you know, how much everything costs, man, they would be on point. But, yeah, I guess not. And they're probably like, it sucks to be you. Complain all you want. We still got your money. We're in England, you're not. Eat shit. What are you going to do about it? Well, that is the question. Not really a whole lot I can. Friggin' Forge World. It was like I'll be honest with you guys, it was like the proudest purchase I ever made. You know, I mean, I saved up hard. Friggin'. And, most massive purchase I've ever made at one time. I mean, I've bought stuff, you know, where I've spent $1,000 or $2,000 at one time over the years, but never, you know, 5,000 or whatever for everything. Although the Warlord Titan that I have that'll go, it's not a Forge World Warlord Titan, but it's bigger. You know, that's the worst part. Super cool sculpts with terrible resin and consistency, but damn, they're always so rad looking. I hope they don't even make anything for sisters. Is that your favorite army? You just jinxed it. I mean, because now they're going to, and you're screwed. I'm just saying. This out of the way. It's kind of in the way of everything. Yep, this is working out great. All I'm doing is sliding them underneath, well, raising the gun up a little bit, and then the gun is applying its own pressure down to make sure that it glues correctly. I'm not putting glue on the feet at the moment because I want to still have that working time if I need to. Yeah, like this one didn't quite go in far enough. That working time if I need to turn the model, you know, so he's looking in the direction that I want him to look. but you gotta fit that foot under there, and that's the only problem. Although with this guy, nope, I think I might have got it. No, it's not far enough. Come on, man. Thought about sticking his leg on the other side of the bipod, but I don't think I want to do that. What's catching him is his cloak. Okay, there we go. I think I got it now. Yep. See if I can find it just a little further. There we go. He just won't be looking down the barrel. Be looking off to the side, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be that perfect. Okay, I say that now, it's irritating me, so never mind. Hey Ripley, how's it going? Let's see. Yep, you're gonna have to buy it all too. So, long-time Death Guard fanatic, but after my last 40K break, I wanted to do something new and fresh. And Sisters tanks are so rad. Plus, the girl army is awesome. True, true. I cannot argue that in any way. The amount of time and effort I put into my custom Sisters army lends credence to that. Cutting out strips of paper to make gigantic and flowing parchment, you know, things, purity seals, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Come on. Oh gosh, you're gonna be the one, aren't you? You just gotta be the one. Gotta be the one. Did we get it this time? Boom, got it. Alright, last guy, where are you? Tournaments. There we go. Like we knew what we were doing. Whew. Doing well, thank you. Hope your kitty is doing better. My kitty? I have a cat. I don't know if it was doing bad. She's always grouchy though. Always asking to be fed when she was just fed. She lies. She lies to us. Let's get a look at this for some more motivation. So what I did with these blocks, as you can see, I chewed them up a little bit and everything. I mean, this is, I'm gonna put like razor wire or at least wire and other stuff too, but you know, these were the sprue that they came on, like this stuff right here. And then I just cut it up, you know, to make it look like, you know, a pillar that had fallen. And then I took some of the parts that went off the top of it, or that stuck out from the top of it, cut it up, and then just glued it in various places like rebar, you know what I mean? I probably want to put a little bit more rebar, but you got to be careful too, well, in my opinion. Oh yeah, my dog. Oh no. The one that's having problems is my son. So it's not even an animal. Well, he could be an animal. He calls him, he likes the Trashimal episode of Trash Truck, if you guys have ever heard of that show. But anyway, sometimes less is more in this regard, because if I get too crazy here, it will take away from being able to see these guys, you know, and what they're doing. Plus I have to be careful here because of the line of sight, or rather barrel clearance, of barrel versus the rebar and stuff like that. I don't want the look he's like, you know, it's one thing that he looks like he's got a downward angle here, and that's fine because you would want to strafe that way. My bad, currently building 2 today. But you don't want to, you know, again, who the hell is going to even pay attention to it, you know, other than you? But I do pay attention to it, and it'll drive me nuts. So it is what it is. All right, so next thing we got to pull out here while we're waiting on that stuff to cure is the ammo cans. And they didn't print them all the same either. Some of them were in parts, like these two, so they're not all on the same sprue, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. Yep. There we go. Trim these off. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. I just gotta be sparing with the razor wire. It'll look really stupid. See, in my mind, you know, you see the guys with the sandbags around them, and it looks amazing. Okay, it really does. But in my mind, especially the way that I plan on playing this army, they're going to be very kinetic. They're going to be moving across the battlefield, not just standing there the whole time. Hopefully, you know, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to make stupid decisions and just run headlong into, you know, into nonsense for no reason. But by the way, this right here. These are the pieces that I glued on to make it look like rebar or whatever. Cleaning mold lines that will be completely covered. Yeah. Yep. I've kind of gotten over that a little bit. You know, we'll see. This is my prized army, so I'm sure I'll do something else. But there's a lot that you can do, you know, to cover that. Obviously, with, you know, flocking and things like that, or what have you. But what was I gonna say? Shoot, I forgot. What was I talking about? Man, what was I talking about? I know I said the rebar, but before that, shoot. All right, so this time I'm not going to cut off these shell casings here, so I can keep them together. Just going to put them in the box or the Tupperware container. Oh, now I remember. Anyway, so my goal is to make sure that, you know, they look like they're moving and they're coming up on whatever terrain it is that they're coming up on to take cover. Not, you know, a fortified position that there's no way they would be able to break that down as they're moving, you know what I mean? It's more realistic to me that an infantry squad moving forward with a heavy machine gun, you know, weapon squad is able to just grab it, drag it, and set back up, versus, you know, an entire sandbagged, you know, perimeter in front of them. So that's where I'm going with that. And eventually they will be, you know, the main board that I really want to make again. The other one was destroyed long ago. Is a ginormous city board. I have so much city terrain you don't even understand. I probably need an intervention. I'm kidding. But I have that much that has to be put together that's brand new. I have that much that's needs to be repaired that was put together. And I don't mean just, you know, taking your manufactorum building that was in the box set or whatever and... Wait, what happened here? What the heck? Oh, there it is. And just building the building at Games Workshop. These are from Walmart, man. They're just $1. My Citadel one's broke, believe it or not. Tip broke right off. I mean, I've had them for years. But these are, I don't know, there's a couple bucks from Walmart. Do they have a name on them? Let's see. I don't think so. But I like how sharp and thin they are up here at the top. See that? Pretty thin compared to the Games Workshop ones. Yeah, that board is massive, or will be massive. Those buildings, you know, I mean, when I say that they're tall, I mean easily, like, if you had your table at waist level, then I think the smallest building was easily chest high, if that tells you anything. So at least a couple feet. Because in my mind, I mean, I want it to look like the fiction that I read about, you know? So what's y'all's take on recasting and things like that? Since I mentioned it in the stream here tonight. And Ripley, did you hear about the new rules? Games Workshop's putting in the tournament stuff as far as your paint scheme and everything else. Man, I'm gonna be bitching about that for days, I'm sure. Alright, got this little sighting piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that on the guns and get it out of the way. Mainly so I know where my hand is going. The next hand, I mean. Those are cool. I recently invested in some God's hands and it made life so much easier with how particular I am when cleaning parts. Hopefully we can build a table soon too. Fingers crossed this new job takes off and get it. Yeah, man. Dude, I'll be praying for you, man. It definitely hopefully it's going to be a massive career for you too. God hands. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. And you say they're clippers, I guess? Is that what you're saying? I think it's insane. How would they ever be able to tell if you custom printed a head versus bought one off? I know, right? Well, and like I said in the very beginning, you weren't on at the time. What are they going to do? Are they going to dedicate a freaking team at these tournaments to check all this stuff out, you know, when people check in the door, you know? Or are you going to be in the middle of a freaking tournament and all of a sudden, you know, oh, you're going to have to take that model off the table because blah, blah, blah. Come on, man. I sure did. I understand it's a business, but it's not like they don't make money. I think that if you want to recast it is full support from me, right? I hear you, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking about it for something. I mean, I'd highly doubt Games Workshop's ever gonna freaking. I highly doubt they're ever gonna support this channel, so I'm not too concerned about it. But I'm thinking about recasting some stuff. Honestly, like whole models. I mean, I've already kind of done that with those Steel Legion that I did for my Basilisk, but there's a better way of doing it. I just took the more easy route with the Instamold, and I could have got a better result, but I found out about them through some time building Gundam made in Japan, and cleanest cuts I've ever seen. Pricey, but worth it. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I mean, as long as they last, that's my only thing. I was surprised when the tip broke off my Citadel clippers. That shocked me. I mean, I have had them forever, but there was no reason it should have just broke like that. I don't understand. Let's see. So Ripley, what kind of terrain are you working on? Like, what are you building? And if you're on Discord, if you guys add me on Discord, you could post a picture. That'd be cool. Then we can all look at it. Boy, this gun sight's being particular. Alright, there it goes. Oh gosh, the Baby Shark song just popped in my head. Oh my gosh, no. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, and all I'm going to do is glue this in here. I'm not going to worry about angle or anything like that, really. Oops, that's the wrong side. I knew I was going to do that. working on ruins that I think would be fitting for the Sisters Army, but also random decrepit stuff. Nice. Ah, you did it. Baby shark. Oh gosh, man. I tell you, if I ever make a Kakaradon army, I'm gonna have to find a way to make that my you know, my opening music as I come onto the table, kind of like a boxer coming out on the stage. I mean, onto the, you know, into the ring. That'd be hilarious. Oh, this isn't the right box. That's right, I forgot there's two different boxes here. One that's open and one that's not. Okay, let's see. That one's open, that one's open, 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 not open, not open, not open. Alright. Yeah, I post on there exactly when I'm going, and the stupid YouTube thing, man, I don't know why it takes so long to tell you guys, you know, when I'm on, but oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. And I guess I'm not the only one that's happening to either, so. But at least it'll kind of be like a text message, you know, you'll know when I'm rolling on. Okay, that one doesn't want to stay, so that's why we save all these parts over here, so we don't have to hold this. And of course you're gonna fall off. You son of a bitch. Oh my gosh, you broke? Really? What the heck, man? Way to go, Forge World. Way to go. I barely even touched it and it broke. Oh, man, so lame. Oh, that stinks. Now I gotta freaking... It'll be the last thing I work on. Plagueman, what would be your boxing intro song or battle song? It would be Your Disease by Saliva, I bet. If you guys know that song. That jam that goes dun dun dun. Yeah, I'm not gonna figure that one out. If it was a Chaos Army, I would say it'd be 99 Ways to Die by Megadeth, maybe. Like a Chaos Undivided Army. Then again, that's just kind of showing my age, I guess. Alright, come on, man. Quit being a moron. Now we get to figure this stupid thing out. Sorry, you guys couldn't see what I was doing. Yeah, what broke was the belt here. Like, it just... I don't know, it just broke. Must have been a weak point or something. There was no reason for that to happen at all. I wasn't like tugging on it or anything, but it happened. And there's nothing I can do about it. Just the way it goes. Gotta love resin, man. Brittle as all hell. He's looking up the actual song name now. What, 99 Ways to Die? Oh man, dude, it's kick ass. It was one I used to listen to a lot when I was racing motocross and when I was training and stuff. Well, I also listened during the race, but you know, you're not really supposed to be out there with headphones on, but it made me race faster, so. Dave's voice. Who's Dave? Who is Dave? Who is this Dave you speak of? Alright, now that I've got them glued, like their hands are glued on, now I'll go back and put a little bit under their feet, because now I'm happy with the positioning. But I never go all in. Oh, I forgot to glue that dude's foot down. Oh, right on. Thought I missed somebody in chat, my bad. Yeah. Yeah, hands down, that's probably my favorite song by Megadeth. I listened on my playlist for racing. I had that song. I had, I think it's called Second Sucks by, oh shit. What the hell's the name of that? Group? They're from Ocala, Florida. Oh man, something Day, I think. I could be wrong. They were pretty good band. The Dun 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 song is O Fortuna. I don't know that. Never heard of it. I ain't never heard of it. cans laying on the ground. I mean, there's something to be said, you know. I'll put the dirt down, you won't even notice it, but right now I can, and who knows, maybe I don't put a whole lot of dirt down, you know. But one thing I did notice, if you notice how they have the wheels on top, Mayday or something, Memphis Mayday. No, it's not them. Oh gosh, man, hold on, I'll find it. Let me see. Well, I suck at typing. A Day to Remember, that's what it is. That's the name of the band. A Day to Remember. Yeah, that whole album, it's freaking rock solid. But if you take a look at these guys up here, you see how the wheels are on top of the dirt? Well, that's not really realistic to me, in a way. I mean, if it was, you know, hard pack mud, maybe, but it's mud. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. Hard pack mud, you know, maybe some clay, something like that. But regardless, there would be some kind of indentation here of where they either spun it around, pushed it forward. You know what I mean? There'd be a buildup of dirt here. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, because you got a buildup of dirt right here, what we would call micro terrain. To hide behind and whatnot, so there would be something here as well, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, so I'm gonna have to stick this one in first and then try to finagle gluing it to the other piece that's glued to the ammo box. So I knew that was going to try to fall down. I knew that was going to happen. Get this here. A big part of this gun, in my opinion, is being able to see the actual belt of ammo. I think without seeing that, you lose the flair of it being, you know, heavy bolter, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely no way that gun is light in any way. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I'm while we, okay, so for those of you that don't know, you know, again, not trying to, you know, blow my own horn here, you know, I'm a retired Marine, various jobs, you know, but mostly special operations, that kind of thing. But the main thing is, you know, even though we don't have wheels and stuff like that on all of our machine guns, even the tripods that go down, I mean, they're thrown down so that, I mean, literally the guy you know, whoever the tripod guy is, because it's usually a 3-man gun team, he's got it on his back and he throws it down into the ground to make sure it embeds itself. So you can imagine the amount of dirt and everything else that goes everywhere. I think we got it. I think we got it to work here. And then, I don't know if I ever told you guys. I don't think I did. I think I showed you, Ripley asked me about the glue that I use, which is obviously this crazy glue. Now I gotta move on to another one. But I don't throw any of this stuff away. So MARSOC came right after me. I was at 5th Force Recon Battalion, and I was an instructor with Special Operations Training Group, you know, which MARSOC goes and gets trained by. So I mean, I guess technically yes, it just wasn't called MARSOC then. 2022, I'll have been retired 10 years. and contracting until February 2017. So I retired in 2012. So yeah, I'm one of those guys, and I play with toys. You can actually find me on the internet, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because the Marine Corps made a PR stunt out of it, threw me on recruiting duty for a short time, and thought that that was going to be a great thing to do. I hated every minute of it, and I appreciate it, Ripley. It's my privilege. And I only got out because I wasn't having fun anymore. The more I got promoted, the more they wanted to stick me behind a desk. And I said, no, I don't want to do this. And if I hadn't got out, I wouldn't have the family that I have today, because I wasn't married or had children while I was in. I was married one time when I was in, but it only lasted about 5 years, and had to get rid of that thing. She was crazy. I'm just glad I didn't have kids with her. Super crazy. Alright, now comes the problem. The one thing I'm concerned about is right here. I gotta get his leg in there so that his hand grabs the belt. Oh, it's so tight. I think oh, do I got it? It's close. Come on. It's not right. Damn it. Come on, I just need you to back up like 2 millimeters. And that damn bipod thing is in the way. Oh, there we go. Don't touch it. Don't even breathe. I'm no legend, man. I'm just a guy that, just like everybody else. Okay, you sit over there and leave me alone, because if I look at you wrong, you're gonna break. I can guarantee it. I shouldn't have. Well, at least it's not glued down completely, so that's good. I need something to weigh this down. I really don't want to do this, but I don't have a choice. Ah, shoot. Come on, man. Come on, man. If Biden would say, come on, man, like that, it would be so much cooler. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. Come on, man. Yeah, don't even look at it, it'll fall over. You're not wrong. That's like everything, isn't it? That's like literally everything. It'll fall over, it'll break, That's I'll be honest with you, that's the one fear I've got about this army. If my priming job and the paint job and the sealant job does not do its job, the first model that falls on the table, I'm screwed. It's gonna probably shatter. I don't know a lot, and I appreciate your humbleness, but nobody that was recon is a normal guy either way. I appreciate it. You're not wrong. We're definitely not normal. Most of us are estranged, and I guess you could say, I don't know. I don't want to get inappropriate. Ripley's on here, so. We have our fun, I guess, would be the way to say it, and the phrase "work hard, play hard" doesn't even equate to what goes on. as I'm sure you can imagine. There was a saying one time, how did they put it? Even Marines need heroes, or something like that. Talking about recon guys and stuff. But I had a really privileged career. I've trained every special forces agency out there. You know, operated with most of them. You know, we're all same people. It's just different, you know, different branch that we're just, you know, operating behind. That's all. But we all work together at some point in some capacity. You know, and I mean like literally like being be somewhere and I've got, you know, an SF team with me or whatever, or we're doing, you know, they're relieving us in place or vice versa. And foreign militaries too, so. Alright, I'm gonna leave you alone because you're really, oh man, why is everything starting to beat? Man, we were on a roll, and now you guys gotta start playing games with me. Come on. I don't want I'm trying to do everything I can to keep the belts off of the wheels. As much as I can, but it's not wanting to play ball, and the problem is that damn bipod leg back here is blocking the A gunner, or you know, ammo man. A gunner being assistant gunner. So I apologize if I delve into military jargon. It's just habit. Probably why I like this army so much. If there was any Imperial Guard army that would be representative of the United States Marine Corps, this would be the one. Look at that. Fits right in there. Why can't you two? Man, you guys suck. You could have just fit right in there just like he did. No. Freaking be retarded. Looks like we got a gap in the arm here, but that'll be covered up by the shoulder pad that'll go over. Right on. Ripley's silent because she was building a building and it fell over on her. That was her cry for help and we ignored it. Or we didn't get it. Appreciate it. Come on, man, get in there. Yep, still in my head, baby shark. I'm doomed. I'm doomed. I'm forever doomed to Baby Shark song. I hope I never develop my father's shaky hands, because the day that happens, I think my hobby will be over. And that might be why I'm kind of in a rush. You're not even wrong. Your building fell on top of you and you're pinned. Brother, I'm pinned here. Have you guys seen Russian Badger's Heavy Flamer Heresy video about the Deathwing game that I play? It is freaking hilarious. I watch it probably at least once a week. It's got like 7 million views or something on it. But I mean, it's super hilarious. Why is this guy not working right? He's bent over way too stinking far. His foot's not even on the ground. Come on now, what's going on here? That's not good. Maybe I need to move this ammo box if I can. Yep, that was a ton of glue that just moved. Alright, you want me to put it on? Because it's hilarious. I'll put it on. Don't dare me. I'll do it. I'm gonna do it. Again, I mean, if you haven't played the game, again, it's basically a review of the game, but the dude is hilarious. Really is. Let's see here. Hopefully he doesn't get upset that I'm using this video. But the commentary is just awesome, in my opinion. As you can see, I have it bookmarked. Let's see here. Let me make sure I turn the music for the channel off. Come on, YouTube. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Hold on. That's how often I watch it.
I would like to file a complaint.
I love how indiscriminate you are when you don't need to whip it like a noodle in a swimming pool.
Hold on.
What the fuck?
Hold on a second, guys. I don't want to. I got too much crap going on here, but it's definitely worse. I gotta close some stuff here. 1 second. Too much crap going on my other deal. All right, there we go. This should be better.
Brilliant, get the flamer. The heavy flamer.
Alright, maybe it's not gonna work.
I love how indiscriminate you are when you don't need to whip it like a noodle in a swimming pool. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, well.
Flame, burning holy fire. The time has come, brothers.
Looks like it might have fixed itself.
Shitpost/heresy
There we
alert!
go.
If you're offended when someone goofs up the lore or talks shit about your favorite chapter of Space Marines, please. Welcome to the grim darkness of the future, where peace, happiness, and prosperity have been replaced by war, death, and destruction. Not necessarily in that order, but necessarily in mass quantities.
I will endure 1,000 deaths before I yield.
In the last episode, 9 months ago, we were introduced to the sentient fungi known as the orcs, the corn-worshipping heretics known as the forces of chaos that make the civilian casualties of World War II look like a picnic.
Skulls for the skull throne! Blood for the blood gold!
List of cornate massacres. This list is incomplete. You can help by expanding it. And most importantly, the Space Marines of the Imperium of Man, led by the veteran Emperor himself.
We are one in the Emperor and the will of man.
And as much as I'd love to hear about your hyper-intelligent Dark Elder waifu, the dumbass weeaboo space communists, and the rattle-me-boom robots, the Xenos stealing your shit this time around are the Gene-Stealer Tyranids.
Your infestation spreads no further, alien.
It may sound like despotic deja vu for someone to be stealing your shit again, but that's usually the way these 40K games go. Xenos are either killing something, breaking something, or stealing something. You're deployed to intervene, you realize the shit is fucked, and you may as well blow it all up anyways, and then you blow it all up.
None who lives can survive the flame.
Which may beg the question from your perspective, why not just blow it all up in the first place, like Exterminatus nuke from orbit? And to that I retort,
Because it is the Emperor's will, and also purging is really, really fun, bro.
the Gene Stealers are doing just that on one of your space hulks called the Electros, and you're the librarian in charge of salvaging anything of value and purging the Xeno filth.
Heresy starts here!
Alongside Devastator Barakeel, Apothecary Nahum, and Shot-Caller Belial, you make up Deathwing, the
Belial
first
is a
company of the
bitch.
Dark Angels chapter.
We are the angels of death!
The whole Dark Angels in bone white armor may be a little confusing, but it's only Deathwing. The rest of the Dark Angels are actually green, even though the Salamanders are already green. But the Salamanders are almost always on fire, so it's not that hard to do.
Brother, enough with the lore!
Brothers, retribution is at hand. It is our strength. We are the sons of Caliber. Let fury guide your weapons. Let vengeance be your song. We are the angels of death, and our enemies shall fall.
Decked out in Terminator armor, you're larger and more formidable than your ordinary Space Marine, but not so huge that you can't fit through doorways like a menacing full-size dreadnought.
None may block our path.
And you better believe you're gonna need this intimidating armor, because the Gene Stealers you're up against, well, they're not exactly small.
By the Emperor, can the Xenos get any bigger?
And you may be thinking, at least I have 2 Dark Angel Terminators to help me. I know it may be heresy to shit-talk fellow Terminators.
Bold words for someone in assault cannon range.
Delete this heresy.
Heresy, it burns. We heard you were talking shit, brother.
But short of dispensing a few cookie-cutter voice lines and soaking up damage, they are useless.
I would disagree, but I'll tell you later.
That is like one single Xeno. Steady yourself, brother.
Discipline is their sole strength, as in even if they are on the brink of death, they will not heal themselves unless you instruct them to. So if you really want to get heretical, you can instruct Apothecary Nahum to constantly juice himself up with self-heals like a feeding junkie, and he becomes a Tyranid Broodlord punching bag while you inflict heavy damage on whatever's attempting to eat you.
Tyrannid bait is not the right word, brother. I prefer expeditionary Tyrannid punching bag.
That
Your
guy
skill
had
tree
to be a
allows you
Marine
make
to
these
use
fellow brothers of
expeditionary.
yours more powerful, yourself more powerful, or grant additional purging abilities, and I sure as shit didn't blow any of it on them.
Yes, brother Barakeel, I realize you want better armor, but I can now purge heretics in 3 different kinds of fire.
At least your objectives are simple, because you usually see a one-word description like fight or destroy off in the distance, and I think you already know what the hell you're doing here. So let me save my breath.
The Xenos are coming. We have to exterminate them at all costs.
I'm gonna need more bolter for this heresy. I'm confused by this heresy, brother. Are the foul Xenos just purging themselves?
Predictably, once this string of objectives is complete, you realize the Gene Stealers lived up to their names by stealing your genes and decide to incinerate the place Exterminatus style.
It was impossible to remove the traces of our gene seed from the bodies of the aliens. So Grandmaster Belial vowed to destroy everything instead.
Consider this a clear division in the video.
Our guns have fallen silent, brother.
Because the single player, especially on the No Mercy difficulty, can be a frustrating, overwhelming with annoyance, and underwhelming with content experience where you feel like a lone guardsman against a legion of Xenos. Let me tell you about the tyranny.
I disagree.
But the multiplayer is 5 times better, a totally different animal, and it feels heretical even looping it in with a single player, because it's a completely distinct experience.
Xenophobia increases.
You know you're in a 40K game when instead of saying waiting for players, it's waiting for brothers. I'm getting too loyal for this shit. Brother. Look at Psycho. He's ready to smack a heretic. First of all, multiplayer allows you to play 6 classes instead of just 1. Not that I hated playing a librarian.
I don't know what a librarian looks like because I can't fucking read.
But heavy weapon specialty granted me an assault cannon and abilities like Zero Spread, a devastating mine, and a virtual A-10 Warthog for an arm.
Assault cannon deployed.
Blood Ravens be like, me, an intellectual. Oh, the sights ray. I know you got a both by all. Look at him.
Look at him.
That's zero accuracy on that rate of fire.
easy for somebody with a fucking A10 Warthog strapped to their arm to say.
Run to me, brother. They'll all get fucked if they run into it. Just watch. Done. Apothecaries are important because with half the Tyranids being able to tear through your armor like a Cheetos bag, you're gonna need an answer to your key, which happens to be a needle drill the size of a baseball bat.
Stimulant
Brother, I need an apothecary. It is teared and whispered in my ear.
You would do that. You would do that. The apothecary walks up. You think he's gonna heal you. You think he's gonna heal you by stabbing you with his needle. He just punches you in the face.
Whatever, I'm going in.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. The cooldown. There, I'm gonna drill your ass.
By the way,
there you go.
Hey man, how many fingers am I holding up?
Turn off your heavy flamer so I can tell you. I'll get you. There you go.
Thank you, brother.
Tactical specialty was a must-have because he can revive a fallen brother.
Your duty is not done, brother!
And Interrogator Chaplain is a no-brainer because he can revive 3 fallen brothers, temporarily reflect all incoming damage, and temporarily become invincible.
Local chaplain
which
literally
makes him
too
broken
angry
as
to die.
shit, the best-looking, and overall a force to be reckoned with.
Pain is meaningless to me!
Can I speak to your manager?
The point I'm making with all of this fuss about classes is that multiplayer offers both variety and specialization, whether you're looking for something different or you just want to play someone that suits your style. You can move far beyond the librarian of the single player, and Retribution just isn't the same without your brothers.
Brothers, to partake in our crusade is to be immortal.
It's worth mentioning at this point to turn Codex rules on because it is a far less grindy experience, and more importantly, friendly fire is off. With the amount of heavy flamers we run, I'd say the Codex Astartes does support this action.
We may get burnt, brothers.
Yeah, the first thing that you do, of course. Yeah.
The space book says this is bad.
Don't There's no need to do that.
It says we can't do that in the Codex. Watch it. Just roast my flames.
Everybody gets her until Lolly Rick pull out the heavy flamer. Which conveniently leads me to my next point. Weapons.
I'm gonna need a heavy flavor for this heresy.
In the single player, you've got to use a versatile weapon. You've got big targets, small targets, close targets, distant targets, so much of the arsenal you can't use because it doesn't meet all those requirements. Take the Redemption, for example, the badass scatterbolter that blasts Xenos away in a ricochet of righteous steel.
Death to the enemy!
God, the ragdoll with that is so good, Heavenly.
Dude, it just usually runs
so far.
Stormbolter and Stormbolter. Yo, shit, ricochets? What the fuck?
My favorite part's coming up
You won't
too.
have the range to hit the dudes with Grimdark Panzer Shreks or anything at a distance for that matter, and your brain-dead brethren sure as shit won't notice them, so you're boned due to lack of range. But in multiplayer, you can combine your Redemption with a Heavy Flamer, Spear of Caliban, and Stormbolter for coverage in all ranges. You cover your brother up close while they cover anything at a distance.
For the Emperor!
That's also the reason why Melee is a bit of a joke, because on normal difficulty, I love crushing heretics and merciless retribution.
My faith is my shield!
By all accounts, it was no more than a hulking mass of steel.
But with any higher difficulty, it just doesn't work. Not only because Tyranids specialize in melee combat as apex predators, but so many Gene Stealers can one-shot you, it's paramount to purge them before they get close. Furthermore, damage is localized, as in if a Gene Stealer chomps your right arm, you can't shoot, and slashes your legs, you can't run away. So again, melee is a tough sell.
I cannot move.
Hey, at least you can use a power fist with every heavy weapon, so it may not be a sword or an axe, but you can still smack a heretic.
Feel the might of the chapter's finest. Die!
You get the point I'm hammering at. Every weapon in the arsenal is at your disposal with brothers by your side in multiplayer, instead of a handful of versatile ones in the single player, which means more fun, more purging, and of course, indiscriminate use of the heavy flamer.
Burning holy fire!
I tell you to stop using your flamer so that I can see. First of all, this is a heavy flamer. Why are you flaming me? I'm right.
My flame does not discriminate.
I'm an equal opportunity flamer.
Equal opportunity purging. Hey! No.
You're like a disciplining mother with like a spray bottle, but instead it's a heavy flame.
No!
It's heavy for a reason, because the Xenos you're up against I like to categorize as apex predators, suicidal apex predators, and apex predators so large that they can only be described as virtually immortal.
It's a big boy. It's a big boy. Get out of my way, Clue. Get out of my way.
Too chunky.
Yeah. Oh, get behind the man with the assault cannon.
Gotcha. You'll come up in a second.
Now we'll be fine, Clue. You got an assault cannon and a heavy flamer. He'll go down. There you go.
Technically, the Sight Strain is virtually immortal, and the Brood Lord is virtually immortal and psychic. So, rule of thumb, Cthulhu-looking Xenos are superior to non-Cthulhu-looking Xenos.
What is this? Get behind me, brother.
And if it's a 20-foot-tall praying mantis bug-looking thing that just cuts your buddy in half and doesn't go down with an initial burst, it's either a Sight Strain or a Brood Lord, and you may want to start a tactical withdrawal, because 2 more are on their way.
Retreat now for victory later.
All right, everything you got to the Brood Lord on the right. Just do the one close to the objective. As soon as he gets here, Goose, hit your reflect, and after it's done, hit your
I have to bounce back. I got the reflect damage.
You're honestly not going to be able to see anything. Just keep taking him. We got a heavy flame assault cannon just laying into him. It doesn't matter.
I can't see anything.
They gotta be so chill. They gotta be so chill.
I got you. You're coming back.
That's one down. One down. That's it. I can't see a fucking thing. When the 20-foot-tall, genetically perfect apex predator gets mowed down by a bunch of dipshit farmers with flashlights. I could rant about the bullshit psychers that can one-shot you with heresy, but I don't want this video to quadruple in length for the sake of Xeno sorcery space magic.
I am calm. What sorcery is this?
Yet no matter how terrifying the Xenos you're faced with, they all have a glaring weakness with no known counter. Doors.
This is a point of strategic import.
It may sound weird that doors are the pinnacle of strategy in Deathwing, but deciding whether to lock them, unlock them, or simply power fist them open for a rapid escape is the closest it comes to chess.
I leave only rubble.
You're insisting.
A quick tutorial on doors. These are the most important things. Pirates can get through that shit.
That's how you go through doors.
This is gonna keep him out, right?
Yes, you hacked it. Oh, let's close this door behind us. Oh wait, we can't.
Oh, this is where I locked the door. If there was one.
All right, this isn't what we're actually supposed to do. Now, come on. No. Why are you like this?
Get in here, brother. I'll block it. I'll block it. I can shut it. I'll get it. Oh, I can hear it
This
right
is
there.
this is the part I was wrong.
He is right there, and he is so mad.
He's pissed, brother.
We do not want your Girl Scout cookies, brother.
It should also be mentioned that doors and entryways are the most dangerous adversary in all of the Elethros because they can swallow you without mercy or meaning.
There's a lot of he's probably in this.
That seems fair. That seems fair. I gotta purge this heresy right.
Looks like heresy to me, brother.
I don't see anybody.
Heresy is now airborne. Get this off my screen.
I'll fucking light him on fire though. I don't give a shit.
Open the door. Open the door.
I'm trying.
Brother.
It's blocked.
So it's just stuck there like a big piece of shit? The Codex Astartes does not support this action.
Brother, I am pinned here.
If you don't get stuck, you'll experience the best the game has to offer outside of the heavy flamer, which is the environment. From the biggest freezer in the universe to the massive cathedrals, holy shit is it ever well done.
Does the architecture bring honor to the Emperor? Yes. Are we overloading the reactor to purge it all in flame in 20 minutes? Also yes.
Look at my screen, I'm freezing my ass off in here. That's such a good solution. Brother,
Are you cold?
brother, I am chilled here. And the better decisions you make, the longer you'll stay alive, the more purging you'll do, and the more renown you'll earn. To spend on upgrades like faster reloads, beefier health, and weapons that never jam.
I don't always jam my spirit Caliban, but when I do, it's because the sight strain is breathing on my face.
My face when I see a hive tyrant and I'm reloading. Resilient increases HP by 30% for each body part. A fellow space marine just walks up and jabs you in the arm. You're still at 100%. Cosmetics are available too, which you can frown upon all you want, but you've really got to grind for them, and at least they aren't microtransactions.
The skins is the indomitable assault cannon of wrath.
Holy shit, Psycho, that's such a neat skin. Fuck.
Well, thank you.
Traitors, doom, destruction's glory, the voice of devastation, torment of defiance, and pain of the heretic. Jesus.
Yeah. Wait, is that...
Wait. I can really ham that up. Just...
Bane of the heretic, torment of defiance.
I wish I was this good as a YouTuber.
Voice of devastation.
God. Oh, it's hilarious.
I'm glad that I successfully deceived you until the end of the video, because the greatest enemy in the entire game? Frame rates. Even with a monster rig of an i9-7980XE and a 2080 Ti, I consistently crater to sub 40 FPS from the sheer amount of Xeno filth and heavy flamer on my screen.
The Emperor's finest.
My graphics card is gonna break. It's gonna break.
God, are these flames ray tracing enabled?
I'm still about 40.
But I'm also glad and most thankful that I had my brothers beside me,
here
because
it
we
is.
had Jackal, who knows everything about
this is the
40K.
part.
Lionel Johnson is the Primarch of the Dark Angels. The only reason he hasn't returned is because he's literally just asleep.
Jello, who knows next to nothing about 40K.
What is that? It's
Right
my
here.
ex-wife, Karen.
Garrett, that's kids. I already gave you the alimony.
Burn the custody papers.
Kids, I'm coming. Can't keep it from me forever.
And Heavenly, who fits somewhere in between.
Sounds like a bunch of nerds. Blood for the blood god. That's clearly some heresy.
I hope you had fun breaking heretics in half with me. And even if you didn't, we purged them all in flame and bounced on out of there anyways. The end. I'd like to extend a solid
Alright,
RIP
so
to all
anyway.
the shitters in my Discord that I banned for saying.
So yeah, now you guys understand why I like that one. It's pretty good. Gotta say, pretty good. But let me get this going here. Wait a minute, did my phone die? Oh my gosh, I think it did. Hey, what are you doing? One of my attack squigs just showed up. Let's see here. Well, that stinks. My phone died. That's my camera, guys. Apologize for that. Hold on a second. Yeah, there we go. And I've actually been working this whole time, so we've got one team left to put arms on, and then it's backpacks and minor stuff. But hopefully you guys thought that was freaking funny, because I mean I did. Dude, it's freaking, it's hilarious. I mean, I'm not trying to steal a dude's work, you know, for for my benefit for my channel, but I mean, it's just, it's too good not to share. It's super funny. Super funny. Let's see here. Yeah, so I've got all 5, well, I'm sorry, I'm on the last one of the 5 that were left, just to show you guys if I can, whatever. Just putting the arms on, actually the arm on the last guy, and then it'll be, you know, like I said, backpacks, e-tools, you know, stuff like that. What the heck happened here? Brother, I am messed up here. Oh, that's why. There we go. No, it's still kind of jacked up. Huh. Weird. Huh. I don't understand. What in the world is going on here? Alright. Well, that stinks. So yeah, that's what I'm putting together. And I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, guys. Please do me a favor. Jump on that Discord. And you know, that way you guys will know. Also, check out my Facebook, Angry Badger Minis. Right now, I'm just posting the time that I get on there. You know, just whoever's there, and I'll start posting some other stuff as well as I can. You know, gotta prioritize things a little bit. So, with all that said, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.